god, we can totally make one of these.
I don't even think I'm enjoying this.
No, I like it.
And we did, and it's fantastic.
I adore this game. It is perfect.
The following is brought to you by loudspeak.com.
Episode 195 of the ChairShot Podcast is here, folks, with me, one of your hosts, just one of them, Barry Murphy, and my ever-dependable co-hosts, and dare I say, good friends. First of all, Paul Griffin.
Hello, Barry.
And also, Mr. Joe Towner.
Well, you know something, mean Barry. What you gonna do when Towny the Griff the lad and all the ChairShot maniacs run wild on you, brother?
I always thought Bradley Walsh was a little low class for my refined tastes. So.
What you mean? Hang on.
In Law and Order.
Well, you were just discussing before we came on air how you used to watch something with Jim Davidson.
I didn't. But John Virgo was the draw, though.
Oh, yeah. So you tolerate the biggest
Changed it now.
in the favour to get to Virgil.
He had a nice beard. He looked a little bit like Matthew Kelly used to look. And,
I tell you what, in the Impact spoilers when they were taping about about a month ago at this stage, they brought one of the chasers out. Just as a local celebrity, get a pop thing, and everyone cheered. He was more over than half the wrestlers.
Probably bigger as well.
Mark the Beast Levesque, a bigger star than Bobby Roode, confirmed, and Jeff Hardy. Anyway, Jeff Hardy wasn't there.
He's probably bigger than most.
Willow was there, though. That was a bit weird.
These days.
What?
He's probably bigger than most wrestlers these days.
In every sense, yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're not here to talk about the Chase listeners. We're here to talk about everything else, but not
Did they
that.
have the chase in America? Did they?
Yes. I'm not sure where it originated, but there is a version of it in the States, yes.
Should we just call this the ChaseShot Podcast?
I'd be down with that.
Okay. Well, I'm...
Or the Chase Pointless Podcast.
Yeah, Pointless is the better show, I feel, anyway.
Never watched it.
Because you get... Oh, there you go. You get a good... Whenever you get a pointless answer, you feel like you're like, oh, I'm really achieved something today. Yeah. I don't think I've ever got one. But I have got one where they only had a score of 1 for the answer. I was like, oh, so close. Yeah, I really like Pointless. Pointless was on Challenge yesterday, and they had a TNA Impact ad with Rockstar Spud. And all I could think was, I know he's English, but of all the people to put on your little commercial to promote your TV show, Rockstar Spud's the one. To promote American wrestling coming up in 15 minutes.
He did win the British Boot Camp.
It's a little poncy, tiny British man going, oh, Impact, turn it on for the Queen.
But that's the sort of people they're watching, so...
Is it? Oh, I suppose. So anyway, how are we all doing? We all happy?
I'm great. I have a little bit of SmackDown on here in the background.
A bit of smack, what?
SmackDown.
Things are tough.
I've had a rough week, lads. I've had a rough week. I haven't, actually.
I'm just in the door, actually, from...
Come inside.
Yeah, hey, thanks. I was in Dublin today at cinema, and I also bought some stuff. So I'll go through that momentarily. I went into a sweet shop just outside Temple Bar called Mr. Sims Old with an E, Sweet Shop also with an E.
Yeah, we have a few. We've two of them here, I think, actually.
And I went in and bought all the double dips they had.
Why? This is going to be another one of our weird pedantic arguments, but we have Mr. Sims here. Why don't you go into that magical wonderland of variety and old-timey sweets and buy all of one kind?
Because well, first of all, I love double dips, right?
You can get them in Tesco, though.
Yeah.
No, I can't here. No, I can't. Nowhere sells them
Yes,
around
you
here.
can.
Not around here.
You get
Not
them
around
in
here.
your
Nowhere
local
sells them.
fucking
No,
corner shop.
nowhere sells them around here.
Sure you can.
No.
Oh yeah, I'm sure no one sells them in Dublin.
I don't live in Dublin.
You said you were in Dublin.
Yeah, so I bought some.
What? But they would sell them in fucking everywhere there.
Well, I was in a shop that sold them, so I bought them all. I bought 6 packets. That's all they had left.
Oh.
And,
Plus,
I bought some fizzy cola lollies. Got 4 of them.
Well, those are great. Those are great. And those are small, so that makes sense too.
Yeah, and then when I got home, I went to Spar, and we got some Manhattan popcorn, right? We got some crazy sour Skittles. They're sour, delicious fruit.
Skittles.
Do you guys remember mint Skittles?
Yes,
They were all right.
they were. We got some tomato salt and vinegar.
I don't really like Skittles.
Me
Haribo
neither.
Super Mix.
I don't like Skittles. Traditional Skittles.
Giant buttons. And last and most controversially,
Can I
because
beat these?
Barry was having a go at this in the week. It's cherry Coke.
Oh yeah.
La
I don't
la
really have
la
to-
la la.
I was just saying I'll never ever try any because
You've never tried it?
It seems like exactly the sort of thing Barry would drink, if I'm honest.
but I tell you what I do. I have had flavored Cokes before, and I like most of them. I liked the Diet with lemon, and I really liked vanilla Coke. And when I went to the UK, they had vanilla Coke like all over the place. I had it all the time. But no, cherry Coke. I don't like cherry cola. I don't like Dr Pepper. I don't like any other cherry cola.
I've never
shite.
had a full drink of cherry Coke. My brother's had it a few times, and I said, let me pour out a little sip, right? And every time I've had it, I don't know if like cherry Coke is something that's really big in the States, but I get the feeling that when I have some cherry Coke, you have a mouthful of it, and it's quite nice, quite sweet, but you go like, right, that's all I want now. I can't imagine drinking like a 2-liter bottle of it. You know, you have one, and it's so sweet. You're like, okay, I'm satisfied now for a week for cherry Coke. So I only got a can of it. So we'll see how that goes. I don't know whether drinking too much of it will sort of lessen the impact of it, but it's quite nice. It's quite nice. I also got some regular Coke in the red can, one of each.
Good. That's a good drink.
So that's for all that is for the UFC tonight, which
I tell you what. Well, anyway, before we get to burying, I have a question. I've never thought to look myself when I'm near a Mr. Sims. Do they have lanky Larrys?
is that what you call your knob, or I've never heard.
Yeah, that's what I'm going in there looking for, Paul. Nice astute observation.
Sorry, do you sell my knob in this shop, please? I've never heard of a lanky Larry.
Let me Google this to see. Yeah, here we go. Lanky Larry. It's even suggested by Google. Lanky Larry Chew Bar. Basically, the local corner shop used to have them back in the day. You know, when you bother your mum for 50 pence to go to the shop.
50 pence? Jesus.
Oh yeah, because I liked a lot of sweets.
Oh,
But basically, they were about
Lanky Larry.
God, how long were they? They would have been about 50 centimeters or something like that, like half a meter or something. They were really long and they were really thin. They basically had the size and shape of a pepperami, but they weren't an actual pepperami.
I've never seen these before.
And they were. Do you ever have a Wham bar?
Oh yeah, I've had a Wham bar, of course.
They were that kind of consistency. They were a chew bar, and they came in a couple of different flavors, but the most common was the pink one. And it was just a strawberry chew bar, but it was really really nice, and I love them. And I have not seen them in years, so I might venture to Mr. Sims tomorrow because we have one in Limerick City Centre, so I might go for an old walk instead of doing that work I have to do for college. And go. Do you have any lanky Larrys?
There you go.
Yeah.
Do you mean your penis?
If they say that to me, I go, well, that's a bit of a weird question considering you don't know my name, sir.
Does your name rhyme with Larry or no?
Yeah. So you got your sweeties for the UFC.
Yeah. It was quite funny actually because I went to see The Godfather Part 2, a restored 4K version in the Irish Film Institute today, which is the
They sort of CGI in Ronda Rousey.
No, it's the arty farty, upper class cinema. And I was just turned to my brother and I said, I like how we're sat here thinking we're all high and mighty for being this cinema watching this movie, but we just bought a load of sweets to watch two women fight later on.
Yeah, I was going to say, I imagine that you two were just stuffing your face and no one else was eating in there, but you're
No, not at all, not at all. I tell you what, we sat down, right, and the film, I swear, hadn't been on 2 seconds, where you just hear a bag of crisps explode open about 5 rows behind us. And, people talking, crunchling away on crisps. And then, in a better twist of fate, there was a lad 2 rows in front of us who took his phone out during the movie, during The Godfather Part 2, right? This limited showing of The Godfather. Whips his phone out. So you see, the glare of the phone is sort of distracting you from the movie. 2 people right on him. Like one guy, I just see my left, this guy sprinting down the aisle of the cinema, right into him, whispers in his ear, put the phone away. So he goes, the phone is still out. So another guy down the other side of the cinema runs up to him and put the phone away there, lad. So some vigilantes at the cinema today. I was very happy.
Yeah. I always turn off my phone at the cinema because
me too.
It is one of those things where you are definitely annoying people around you because of the glare.
Yeah. It's not the talking on the phone. It's just even when you check your phone, there's suddenly this big white beam coming from.
Well, the talking's pretty annoying as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Although I don't think I've ever seen anyone actually answer the phone and talk on it in a cinema.
Have, yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it happens. I mean, but when you go to the more
Common.
Yeah, the more mainstream cinema brands, like
Ooh, mainstream. Look at you being all diplomatic. The scum cinemas. The Plebemax.
Yeah, and you're going to see whatever the latest Transformers movie. There's going to be a few scumbags.
Yeah.
In the cinema on their phone, probably fingering their hag girlfriend. It can happen, So sometimes go to a nice cinema just to be, away from all that market. And on that sort of same note, I can't ever imagine going to a cinema in America. I imagine that must just be the worst experience.
Why?
Because they have no class.
Well,
The general nation.
That's true.
Yeah, I know. I'm only joking. I love Americans, but
Imagine them being a bit more loud and sort of,
obnoxious. Like,
I
I feel bad now because the only people who email us in these days are Americans. I love America. Don't get me wrong. God bless Obama, or not Obama if you're a Republican.
Yeah.
But
I
can't imagine going to a cinema in America.
I imagine it's very much like the ratio of annoying
But
to not
then
annoying.
I imagine they must have like we do. I imagine they have some nice cinemas where the scum don't go to shout at the screen or to just rifle through, your aluminium bags of crisps or chips as they call them.
Yeah.
And I can just like nacho cheese just flying through the air.
Yeah. Over there, Crisp is a gang member.
Oh god! And after we were at cinema, I went into HMV, and it was
over there. That's a sort of immune disease.
And it was like a ghost town. It was like scary empty. It was like sad how empty it was.
The economy, mate. The economy.
And there wasn't even music playing over the loudspeakers. It was just like this weird, empty, dead, quiet HMV. And I looked around, like, is this even open? I couldn't even see like people working there.
It's closed down right in the middle of the day, and everyone's just abandoned it.
I was out in the shopping centre on Thursday. I was interviewing someone sort of nearby for an interview I'm doing for like a college project, and the shopping centre's nearby. So I went into HMV there on my way home. And I guess they're promoting box sets of Game of Thrones or something.
Yeah,
because those
just out now.
Yeah, those security barricade things you have to walk through to make, they'll set off an alarm if you're wearing anything with a tag on it. They were kind of covered in this cardboard Game of Thrones sort of entrance thing.
Yeah, they have that in HMV where I was at.
But it was like really small, and I actually felt really cramped walking through it because I'm quite tall, and it's like this isn't, people of average height would have trouble going through this. It's like, what a poxy.
Do they have them over in London, Joe?
They have what?
those Game of Thrones. It's almost like
A gateway.
like a Stonehenge.
A Stonehenge, yeah, or something like that, made out of cardboard with Game of Thrones imagery on it because the DVD's out.
No, I've not seen that.
I imagine that must be like the gates of Jurassic Park for Joe walking through it.
Yeah.
The sword and get stuck.
Yeah.
Oh,
Ooh, he's out. Ooh, this kitty got claws.
And then I'm just like, you know, the middle bowl of porridge. I was like, oh, just right. It might hit my head a little bit, but I'm grand. But yeah, I didn't pick up anything in HMV.
No, this I did. I'll tell you what I got there in a second. But this is the first time where, in the last few years, normally when the new Game of Thrones box set is out, for example, I'll pick it up because I want to go through all the special features, and say with Boardwalk Empire, I'll watch it like an old episode too if there was like better episodes. But Game of Thrones, I was like season 3 is out. I was like, ugh, I don't really want it. I'm a little burnt out on Game of Thrones, honestly. I think the last season was decent.
Oh, I hear the next season's a bit more action-packed than the last one.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, there was one really, really exceptional episode last season, but aside from that, I just felt it was a little nothingy. Whereas Boardwalk Empire was really good last season. True Detective has been excellent so far.
Brilliant.
So I just feel like there's better HBO shows out there at the moment. I was going to say HMV again. So anyway, I picked up some movies based on what I've been watching lately. So since I've been watching a lot of Scorsese movies,
Ooh.
I've picked up one of his. I bought Casino
I watched that the other day.
on Blu-ray.
Yeah.
I've never seen it. I've heard it's quite good though.
Oh yeah, okay.
That cost me €8 on Blu-ray. So that's
Not bad. What's that in pounds?
I don't know. Go and Google, look it up for yourself.
Okay.
I don't know how pounds work. Probably what? £2 probably.
No, hang on. It's like 6 or 5.
€8 in pounds. £6.61.
Yeah, see?
That's a good deal. Isn't it?
Not bad.
Yeah, I like how Joe needed to do that. Otherwise, he couldn't decide if it was a good deal or not. It's not like Australia where it's like £10 for a bottle of Coke over there. Or something. We're basically the same. How much is a bottle of Coke where you live, Joe?
What size? What? 500 millilitres?
500, yeah.
Depends where you buy it, really.
Okay,
Yeah.
but generally.
Yeah, looking about £1.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, it's just about
About 130 over here, isn't it?
yeah. Well, no, God, no. I tell you what, right? I'm not much of an economist, but the way I measure inflation is I will just every now and then say to my friend, "Why is this Coke bottle 170 when it was like 130
What? Where
years
you
ago?"
spend 170?
Sintra and places like that. I swear to God,
Jesus.
there are shops in Ireland where you can get bottles of Coke that are like 150, 60, 70. It's craziness. It's craziness. The cans are still the same, though. That's great. The cans of Coke will never be more than 1 unit of currency.
Well, in Hewlett Packard, where I work, since I began, cans are 90 cent and bottles are 130, and it's always been that way.
That's nice. Yeah, on university campus because our shops are fairly reasonable. They're like they are like 130, 140, but it's just that is the only instance of inflation I will ever notice. I will say to myself when I see a bottle of Coke that's more expensive than I remember, I'll be like, oh, bastard government.
Goddamn Coke duty. Ah! And then they had 2 for €15. So I bought 2 Blu-rays for €15. 2 which I could probably describe as schlock. I watched Escape Plan last week with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sly Stallone, so I'll talk about that today. So I bought Last Action Hero with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
Because I'm sort of in that mood for the sort of nonsense Arnie kind of movie. So
any of them.
Give that a watch. And I talked about watching National Treasure last week, so I bought National Treasure 2. Book of Secrets. I've heard it's not so good, but last one was fun. So. And Nicholas
just got another copy of the first one.
Well, or I could just watch the first one again.
Yeah.
So I'll give that a watch. Nicolas Cage can be fun.
It's fun. Yeah.
See how it goes. So that's what I bought today.
It's good.
All my purchases.
Yeah.
What have you two been up to then?
I bought some cream eggs earlier.
So did I.
I don't like cream eggs.
Ooh, I quite like them. I do prefer the caramel eggs, though.
Yeah, I really.
Yeah.
They're really like a bit sickly though.
Have you
There's so
really
much
started
caramel.
seeing the Easter eggs being sold already?
Yeah, on January 2nd.
Yeah, tons. Yeah.
It's crazy.
I've got. Hang on, let me get it. I've got a little bag of mini eggs here next to me that man picked up for me during the shopping. All the Easter shites out.
Eggs.
And I had a cream egg last night. If you want to see me go into the fridge to get my cream egg, you can go to vine.com/thebarryled. I don't know if that actually works, but my username on there is thebarryled.
Yeah,
Find myself in the fridge last night.
Good vines from Barry.
Yeah, I'm vining hard.
So we're on that. I also saw The Wolf of Wall Street today
Oh yeah.
in a cinema. I went to a really early showing, so there would be no one there. And the plan worked.
Oh really?
Six people in the cinema.
Yeah, I expected that to be more at The Godfather.
Mm.
There can't have been more than 15 people.
It's been out a while, to be fair. I've probably caught it already.
That's true. I'm surprised that I've only seen it for the first time today.
The funny thing is, though, like right as soon as the credits started, the doors opened and 3 cleaners came in to clean up the cinema. And I was like, "There's only 6 of us here. How much mess do you think we made? Come on." But, yes.
Well, how'd you find it anyway?
Yeah, it was alright.
I really like it. I thought it was
I enjoyed it.
a
I didn't
lot
love
of fun. Oh really? I love that.
I didn't love it. It was enjoyable, but there were a lot of faults with it, I think.
That's fair enough, I suppose. I quite like Wolf. I think Leonardo DiCaprio is very good in it. I think it's the first time I've seen him in a movie where I was really sort of impressed by him in it.
Yes.
Because I think he can rely too much on just shouting.
Yeah.
That's his thing. Leonardo DiCaprio shouts a bit.
He shouts quite a lot in this one, though, to be fair.
Yeah, but it's not done
Was it better shouting?
It's not, no, but it's not done in a way where that's his one emotion, basically, is to shout.
Yeah.
It's done because he's a cocaine-fueled maniac, basically.
Yeah, and he gets it's quite silly in the movie as well, which I like. He can sometimes be a bit sort of serious or earnest, I think, in a lot of his movies. But he gets a bit wacky at points here, which I think helps.
Yeah.
Ernest as in like goes to camp or
No, as in serious.
oh
Yeah, so it was fun. I wouldn't put it in the same league as a lot of Scorsese movies. But yeah, give it a watch if you want.
Well, what Scorsese movies would you put above it or below it then?
The other ones,
Oh, really?
it's like,
Precise. Goodfellas, probably better, is it?
well, yeah, obviously.
well basically
That's
better than
right.
basically everything. So yeah.
That's like Champions League compared to Man United. Yeah, Goodfellas better. I put it on a good par with Casino, I think.
Okay, well,
So it was
really
another pretty good film, but a bit flawed.
I really want to see Wolf of Wall Street, but
Wolf of Wall Street's great.
very much doubt I'll get to see it while it's in cinemas. So I'll stick it. It should be out on DVD by the time my birthday comes around. Stick it on the list. I saw a film this week.
Oh, really?
Didn't go to cinema though. I watched The RoboCop.
The original or the new one?
The original. Well, I said I didn't go to cinema, Paul. Pay attention.
Well, you don't have to go to the cinema to see RoboCop.
I don't know what you're implying, but I don't like it. I watched RoboCop on Netflix.
Yeah.
I had seen it when I was a kid, and it was funny because RoboCop was like my hero when I was a kid because he was an all-action badass man whose name was Murphy, and thus I thought I was RoboCop.
Yeah.
Or I was related to him, at least, in some fashion. So he was cool. I loved RoboCop. I had toys. I watched it a billion times. But I could not remember almost anything from it because it's... I don't think I've seen it since I was like 5.
I can't imagine you've been allowed to watch that movie when you were 5.
Well, I watched and played everything when I was a kid.
I watched porn when I was 6.
No, that was the one thing that was off limits. Not in an Irish household, no. Of course not. I watched people mutilate each other, but never.
We discussed that the other week, didn't we, Barry? There was some porn at Barry's school. You didn't know what it was.
Oh yeah. I didn't know what was going on there.
His mother drew the line at erotic thriller.
Yeah.
She caught him with a dirty magazine one day. She said, "Oh, give that here. Watch Nightmare on Elm Street for God's sake.
But yeah, so I watched that. I mean, I was really into over the top gory action nonsense even as a kid. It's like we all grew up. Well, I more or less grew up in the era when Mortal Kombat was the thing you had to play as a kid. But anyway, RoboCop. Yeah, it's really, really, really good. Like I didn't realize it was that good an actual film. I mean, it's kind of schlocky in a fun way. Oh, yeah. It's silly, but it's really endearing.
It's very sarcastic. It's got a very sarcastic tone to it, almost.
The news bits, they have these bits where it's basically just a sort of news broadcast from their version of Detroit, complete with sort of ads and sponsors. And they also have sort of snippets of a really tacky sitcom throughout. And it's very, very clever. And
I'd buy that for $1.
Yeah, and it's stuff like that, but it's also sort of very knowing, over the top, almost B-moviness to it. So really, really great. Holds up. Hasn't aged poorly at all.
There was a bit where the guy gets shot in the boardroom by like the giant robot.
Yeah.
That was really shot. I was like, what the hell? It just gets absolutely mutilated by gunfire.
It's just like a red puddle.
It's crazy. Yeah.
The only thing that has aged would probably be some of the effects, obviously, because this was late 80s. We were just on the cusp. It was on a few years out from CG, or the beginnings of CG, and still kind of fucking around with animatronics and stuff. The ED, whatever it is, the big robot, the antagonist robot. I mean, that is like stop motion kind of. This isn't any kind of remastered special edition. This is as it was, more or less. So that's stop motion, and you also have. I love when you watch old movies like this, and you can kind of see how the filmmakers were trying to be badass and come off as like pushing the envelope with their special effects. The scene where Murphy is blown to bits and that establishes him as basically dead before he becomes RoboCop.
First 5 minutes spoilers.
Oh yeah, first 5 minutes spoilers. So basically, all these bad guys and Red Foreman from That 70s Show are shooting him to shit, and he's all badly hurt. And the final moment is Murphy is writhing in pain, and then the main bad guy shoots him in the head. But the actual scene where he shoots him in the head, there's this blatantly fake animatronic Murphy head that's writhing in pain. But like most animatronics of that era, it's just a dummy head that has about 2 points of articulation, so its jaw is moving up and down a little bit as his voice is dubbed over, going ah ah ah. And the camera sort of pans around, and he's shot in the head, and it pops out the other end. And you can kind of see what they're going for. It's like one take. You see him writhing in pain. The camera swoops around to the back, and then he's shot. And it's like, okay, so they were trying to, maybe they were a little bit proud of their animatronic thing. It was fairly realistic, but it just looks silly today. But other than that, like, it's witty, it's funny. The action scenes are great. RoboCop is like, it's just the right amount of cheesy. I've heard that the remake goes much further with the I have to find my wife and son stuff. Whereas in the original, I don't think he ever finds his family. No, he doesn't. He goes back to their house and they're not there. And there's a few.
He gives up.
Yeah, he gives up. He goes, well, better go back.
I've looked everywhere I can think of. So
yeah. So but in a way that was for the better, because
the funniest thing about it is that he, even though he's this futuristic robot, he still drives this shitty old car.
That was amusing me. I was like, why doesn't he fly?
Shouldn't you? Yeah, he should have a flying motorbike or something.
Also, he's incredibly slow, as I recall.
Oh yeah, that was the other thing as well. It's like it's a good action movie, despite the fact that he's this big, inarticulate,
lumbering
robot.
It's like the Great Khali, almost.
It's like Kevin Nash.
Yeah, I don't think he has. Does he have elbows? Can he move his elbows? I'm not sure. But yeah, RoboCop, the original. It's on Netflix. I wonder if the sequel is. I heard 2 is also very good.
Yeah, they're all 3 of them.
Well, 2 and 3.
3 is not very good. But...
Well, 2 and 3 are very much toned down, I think.
Yeah.
Have you seen Total Recall, by the way? The original Total Recall?
Yes.
Because that's directed by the same guy. I quite like Verhoeven, although Showgirls wasn't particularly good at all.
Wait, Showgirls?
Let the boobies in it, though.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's not the one with What's Her Face from Saved by the Bell, is it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Is that the same guy, really?
Yeah, same director.
It's weird, because that almost feels like it is just actual schlock.
Oh, yeah. It is for sure.
Although it is kind of an amusing, bad film to watch, I think. But yeah, that was the only film I watched. Watched a bit more stuff on Netflix. I'm taking my time with House of Cards, not marathoning it. I'm about 4 or 5 episodes in now. It's good. It's really good. Some of it seems weird to me, but then I realised, no, wait, that's just American politics. They got a reference to filibustering in there, seeing as that was probably happening around the time they were filming this, I guess. There was that filibustering thing in Texas last year. And I was like, that's a weird thing to mention. I was like, oh, well, American politics is weird. What else am I watching? You know what I watched for the first time today? First ever time. I watched an episode of I'm Alan Partridge.
Oh!
It was great. I've watched barely any Alan Partridge in the past, although I sort of know what the gimmick is. But I watched one episode of it. It was very funny. Really, really enjoyed it. I'm probably going to watch some more of that after this, actually. Yeah. So that was good. And I watched the first episode of True Detective.
How'd you find it?
Very good. Very good.
Well,
Matthew McConaughey is really good, as is Woody Harrelson, obviously.
Yeah.
Not much to say. That entire first episode is almost all set up. I get the impression that going forward that it's kind of a getting the gang back together type story going forward. Maybe I'm wrong.
It's True Detective definitely only gets better from episode 1 out.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, yeah,
I'm only on episode 4 myself. I've not watched 5 yet. Which is the latest one that's been out.
And that's what I've been up to this week. No other films or games or TV shows really of note. Haven't watched Archer in 2 weeks because there hasn't been any because it's been preempted by fucking sport in America. So
fucking sport.
Bollocks to that. Fucking winter Olympics of all things.
People going on about the Winter Olympics.
Yeah, cannot stand this. Like, fair enough, I don't like sports typically, but people acting like curling and things like that, it has them on the edge of their seat.
Shameful.
It's quite late for the Winter Olympics, isn't it? It's almost March. I don't know why they...
It's in Russia though, so...
maybe.
Probably cold there, isn't it? I don't know. Haven't been.
No. So yeah, that was my week. Yeah, not a whole lot of news on my end.
Well, speaking of Steve Coogan, I watched Philomena last night as well.
Oh, aye.
And I thought it was really good. I mean, surprising, given that it's an Oscar nominated for Best Picture. But I went in with, relatively mediocre expectations. But I thought it was really good. It's almost sort of a half comedy, half drama. Of course, it's based on a book, which is based on a true story. And a lot of the comedy falls flat. A lot of it's based on the Philomena character being a sort of backwards, old-fashioned Irish lady. So, like, there's a scene in a hotel where Steve Coogan's trying to sleep, and he gets a phone call, and you only see his side of the conversation, but he just goes like, "Oh yes, Philomena, I have bathrobes. There's 2 in every room. Good night." So it's that sort of thing where she's just amazed by all this. Look, they put a mint on your pillow. Whoa, how the other side live. Like this country bumpkin Irish woman.
Yeah.
But,
the lady it's based on is from County Limerick, I believe, just outside of the city. Newcastle West, I believe, is the town where she's from. Is that at all mentioned in the film? Does it mention where she's from the film? Or?
I don't remember the name of the town exactly.
I'll look it up. I was fairly certain that she's from sort of not far from here.
A lot of the drama is extremely good. It's very... parts of it are very sad, very depressing. There's other quite happy moments. So yeah, I would definitely recommend Philomena. Judi Dench is very good in it. Steve Coogan is very good in it. And not much else to say. It's just a quite good movie. Without ever being really outstanding. Like at the start, I wasn't sure, and then as it went further and further on, I sort of got more into it. But it's not a film that blows your mind in any way. It's just a very solid comedy drama. And I watched something else this week. That's Escape Plan that I was talking about with Arnie and Sly. Yeah. And that's another movie that's far better than it has any right to be. It's sort of perfectly done in the style of your 80s Arnie schlock, like your Commando and Predator. It's exactly along those lines. I thought it was very good, very funny. Mm-hmm. Jim Caviezel is perfect as the sort of wacky prison warden enemy. I really, really liked Escape Plan. I thought I was going to hate it because it looks so terrible.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even say it's like one of those movies that's so bad it's good. It's just fun. It's just a very fun movie.
It's just actually good.
Yeah. I was surprised by how good it was. I mean, I'm still maybe on the fence whether I'm going to describe it as good. I would say it's very enjoyable and very fun. The dialogue sometimes can be quite poor, but it is that kind of movie. It's got 50 Cent in it, for example.
Oh, this?
Yeah. 50 Cent plays a hacker thug. So.
Oh, we have this role view. We're going to play a kind of a hacker who kind of got kicked out of MIT for illegal activity. I don't know if I can work that, man. Hacker thug, maybe. Oh yeah, cool, man. Yeah. My hang on, before I do that, I gotta take out the trash. My fucking grandma's on my ass again. I gotta.
I saw that tweet.
Oh god.
Yeah, I really like Escape Plan. I would say if you like the Arnie films of old, before the Jingle All the Way era, and Kindergarten Cop, but sort of those early action movies.
You just mentioned two of his best.
Yeah, but no, don't get me wrong. I love Jingle All the Way especially. I think me and Joe were waxing lyrical about that a few weeks ago when they announced the sequel. But I mean his action. It's not like Jingle All the Way at all. It's along the lines of his action movies, like even along the lines of Total Recall, something like that. It's along those lines, and it's very fun movie. So I would definitely recommend Escape Plan. I would recommend Philomena, and I saw The Godfather 2 for the first time today, and I would recommend that as well. It's very, very good. Although if I was to criticize it, and I do feel bad because it's revered as one of the best movies of all time, but I had a few criticisms about Godfather 2.
What?
Have you seen it, Joe? Godfather Part 2?
Yeah.
I don't think Joe, you've not seen it, Barry. You've not seen the Godfather.
I've not seen any of them.
The format of Godfather 2 is it's half telling it's essentially half a prequel and half a sequel, which I was completely unaware of before I went to see it, until like right before when I knew that De Niro was going to be playing the Vito Corleone role. I feel it would work better as two separate movies.
Yes.
Although it's the format gives you a sort of conflict between the rise of one character and the fall of another in a way. I just don't think enough time is given to the flashback story. I think that sort of just jumps too far ahead in between.
I think part 2 should have just been the De Niro stuff, and then part 3 could have been the Pacino stuff.
I would,
and then they could have binned off the actual part 3 because that was shit.
Well, yeah, I mean the best parts of the movie I would say are the De Niro parts. Yeah. I really like the story of where he came from and how he became the Godfather, but I just feel like it's never fully covered. Like you see him as a child going to America, and then he's Robert De Niro,
and then he's living in the Statue of Liberty.
But why?
It's me, Robert De Niro.
Abe, it's dinner time. Robert De Niro running up the side Statue of Liberty with his hoop and stick.
But while it's covering his rise, you never really get the payoff of him becoming the Godfather. It's just he is sort of this lower class criminal, and then it jumps and he has this office, and then it jumps again and he's back in Sicily, and it's not really. I feel like it would work better if they just concentrate on the backstory and maybe just it as a prequel and go on that way.
Yep.
Although that being said, I thought the Michael stuff was very good as well. It's just I think it would have been better if they concentrated on one rather than doing sort of half and half. I didn't think it's a very long movie. It's 3 hours 15, something like that.
Jeez.
But it doesn't feel that long, even though it had an intermission during the movie. Although they didn't have an intermission.
I was gonna say, did they
the
actually
movie
let
stopped and it came up on screen intermission, and then that stopped and the movie kept playing. I don't know why they didn't just cut that bit out.
Or give you an actual intermission.
Yeah, although I didn't need an intermission anyway. I didn't have to go to the bathroom or anything during the movie.
I would like an actual intermission during some films, actually, especially if it was 3 hours long.
I don't know. I don't think the 3 hours long is necessarily long enough to warrant an intermission. I think if it's something like the new Lars von Trier movie, Nymphomaniac, is being shown as 2 parts. Did you guys hear about that, by the way?
Get up and have a wank in the middle. What? No.
Yeah, you have to essentially buy 2 tickets to see the film in its entirety because it's 4 hours long.
What?
Yeah, it's Nymphomaniac Part 1 and Part 2. It was released on the same day.
That is nonsense.
I know.
This is like Hollywood copping on to downloadable content. We can get them to pay twice for the whole story. But there's been 4-hour films before, and they haven't done that, haven't they?
Yeah, I mean, like, Once Upon a Time in America is
King Lear.
or as long. Return of the King, the last Lord of the Rings movie, is about 3 hours 40.
Madness. I don't think I'm gonna go see that because I don't think I know anyone who could go to see it with me. Nor do I want to go and see it on my own. You know. And also now after finding that out, now I also don't want to pay twice. 'Cause come on now.
Yeah, well, you'll be paying twice if you want to see it. So I would say definitely just rob that one if you're interested in seeing it.
Might look into those other means of watching that you talked about.
Yeah, standing outside the cinema's window and just peering in.
Yeah.
Whatever's on the screen.
Boy, was that something you'd love to get caught doing for Lars von Trier's Nymphomania.
Trousers around your ankles.
Nymphomania running wild, brother.
Wow. Tell you what else I did this week.
What?
I for the first time in God knows how long, I went to a nightclub, as they are known by.
Ooh.
And to make it all the better, all the sweeter, I went while sober. Because I'm on very strong antibiotics. Like the pharmacist stressed to me, as if in such a way that was like, no, don't just say yeah. Actually, don't drink alcohol with these. And I was like, fine.
You were drunk at that point.
I was breathing fumes on her.
You were like, yeah. I was like,
Just give them. Who are you? You free tonight? No, I'm leaving. So yeah, I went out. It was pretty horrible. Like, it was pretty horrible. I think I've spoken about this before, but I'm definitely over that whole scene, and I couldn't even drink myself stupid to begin to tolerate it. So that was pretty horrible. But other than that, yeah, that was my week. Finished my antibiotics now. I'm feeling less stressed, and my gums are all happy, so we're doing good.
gums and teeth.
I also started and finished Pokemon trading card game on the Game Boy Color this week.
They made a Game Boy game of the trading card game of each show of the game. Yeah.
It's alright. I wouldn't say it's a really good game or even a really fun game, but
why did you bother?
Because I was at work and I wanted to pass the time, so I downloaded an emulator, and I only wanted to play a Game Boy game because I find anything else a pain in the arse to play with a keyboard.
Yeah.
So that was there, and
save yourself some time and just go on and do Twitch plays Pokemon for a couple of hours.
I've been watching that. Yeah,
I can't bring myself to watch it because I feel like I would lose my mind if I was to try.
I'm amazed I got so far.
I every now and then I'll just see a GIF of them like releasing their starter Pokemon. I was like, well, I'm not watching this, never, because I would lose my mind. They have gotten far. I've heard they've like actually beaten gym leaders, which is
I think they've like last time I checked, I think they had like 5 badges or something.
Because it's funny, because there is, as you would expect, the complete mayhem of 80,000 people trying to play Pokemon at the same time, but there is also a frankly, like, almost logic-defying amount of progress, and it must just be by pure luck, because not only do you have the mayhem of the very idea, but you also have, like, the 20-second delay that comes with using Twitch. Yeah. So it's like, it's weird, but yeah. I imagine the majority of the people are trying to advance in the game, so... Yeah. They do things like like the guy behind it will sort of disable the start button, because people are just going in there pressing start and pausing the whole fucking thing, and that will continue for 20 minutes, you know? Yeah. And then just to make it more complicated, they introduced the anarchy and democracy system.
But why would anyone want to play democracy?
I don't know.
You're just watching a very slow run-through of Pokemon at that stage.
Well, not necessarily, but because...
The anarchy is the sort of appeal of it.
So not only do you have people mashing buttons away endlessly in that chat room, but you go in there at any given time, and you also have an anarchy and democracy spam going on as people are voting one way or the other. It's bizarre. It's a really mental... Like, people are trying to take some kind of sort of social commentary from it. Like, what does it mean as to where we are now in technology? It means we have too much time on our hands, and technology is too good. Technology is too good now that we can do things like this. But it's fun. Bunch of clones for it still. Someone give me a shout when Twitch plays Last of Us is up. I'll give that a go. Yeah, this could only work with something like Pokemon, and I believe there's a Twitch plays Dive Kick thing up. That the dive kick people themselves got in on. But that's a 2-button game anyway, so it's like whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's interesting.
And I just started a playthrough of Super Mario World, which
I saw that. Yeah, I forgot to mention to you. I watched
on
it.
my YouTube. So if people want to watch me, I'm going to try and complete Super Mario World 100% with all exits. Which is to say that each level has either one exit that you can use, like go through to finish the level, and some have multiple exits, which gives you alternate paths through the world. So I'm going to try and that is to say I will beat the game 100%, finding all secret levels and beating all secret levels.
What motivated you to do this?
Well, I think it was actually playing Pokemon trading card game. I sort of got that emulator
Bugs. Yeah.
And then I came home, and since I had the controller, I said, okay, let's start something. And when playing on an emulator, I can just take the audio and the video while I'm playing it, so I could pop it on my YouTube. So I said, okay, what sort of game am I in the mood to play? I said, probably a SNES game, not so much an N64 game, because I just beaten Mario 64 100% last year. So I said, I'll play a Mario game. I'll play Mario World, because it's a game I've not played in years. I never beat it 100%, so I don't know how to do it. Basically, the only thing I can go by is
go right.
The for for each level on the world map, if the level has a yellow dot, that means there's no secret exit, and if it has a red dot, it means there is. So I know for those ones I have to look for a secret exit. I don't know where half of them are. I only know most of them. So, have you ever played that game, Joe?
No.
Mario World?
Don't know what that is.
I guess you do. It's like the third one, isn't it? The third one, first one on the SNES.
It's it is the first one, but it's not the third one because there were 3 on the NES. There was Mario Bros, Mario Bros 2, and Mario Bros 3 on the NES.
Oh, Super Mario World. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he says.
There's Stargate in that, right? Is that a thing?
The Stargate. Yeah,
Something like that.
there's Star Road on it.
Yeah. Yoshi, Yoshi is in it, isn't it?
Yeah, Yoshi's in it. So that's
Different coloured ones or something.
no, that's Yoshi's Island. That's Super Mario
Yeah,
2.
yeah,
You're thinking
yeah,
of,
yeah.
which I have played and beat,
Yeah,
but not 100% yet.
Yeah.
I might do that afterwards. So that's what I've been playing. So that's on my YouTube. I'll put the video on my Twitter if people who are listening to this wanna see it.
I forgot to mention. I started. I mentioned I picked up a week ago. I started that new Splinter Cell this week.
Oh really?
It's good. It's yeah. It's Splinter Cell. It's kind of sneak around in that, kill people in that. Plot is sort of faux 24, sort of annoyingly patriotic in some regards, save the American lives stuff. It even has Chloe's ex-husband in it from 24, for any of you who've seen 24. Yeah, it's good, I like it. I replayed that Last of Us DLC too, obviously. It was good. Because they did that annoying thing where DLC made it look like I didn't have all the trophies. And I was like, well,
The bastard.
I'll have you know, that's not true, and I am good at video games. I got all them again. Oh man, that DLC is so good. So good. Anyway, are we about ready to jump into emails?
Yeah, why not? I think we've covered everything mostly.
Alrighty, who wants to go first? I can go first if you want.
Yeah, go on. Mine's not even open.
Alrighty then.
Mailbag.
Let's see here. Alrighty. Oh, time for the weekly spam folder check. Although Steve's email is in my my regular
Oh,
thingy
tremendous.
because he's normally relegated to
It's
spam.
learning.
It is learning. Yes, in fact, I do. Oh, and this appears to be a new emailer. Mark that as not spam.
Tremendous.
God, I wonder about how many people actually get relegated to this, and I miss them, because I do miss them.
Thousands, I'd imagine.
Let me see here. Alright, let's go back into the main mail. I do like Gmail's new setup, but it does kind of bother me that my promotions subfolder seems to get filled a lot more than my one of actual humans talking to me.
Well, that's like your life, though, isn't it?
What do you mean?
I mean, you have 8 million tweets and Tumblr and Facebook. I can't imagine that your promotion thing wouldn't be just packed with interactions.
No, but it's...
I'm not having a go. I'm saying surely your promotion thing would be more
No,
fun.
most of those go to spam, but my promotions, I mean, actual companies shilling things.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. I'm thinking of social, not promotions.
Yeah, no, I'm getting. I guess it's because I was foolish enough to sign up for every
All those porn sites.
wrestling company. Well. Anyway, let's read this new emailer first. This is from Alex, not Alex Crone. Let me see here. Okay, this is from Alex. Subject: CSP Origins. Says, hey Barry, with episode 200 nearing, I got to thinking, how did you, Joe, and Paul know each other originally? Who came up with the idea of CSP? Love the show. Thank you very much, Alex, for your email. We do greatly appreciate it. Myself, Paul, and Joe, we all posted on the same message board a number of years ago, and somewhere along the way, and we got to know each other and became quasi friends, as it were, on the message board.
Oh.
Our relationship grew over time.
Quasi.
We grew to be great friends over time. And I think CSP helped in that a little bit. And over sort of, it wasn't a wrestling message board, by the way, which is interesting because, that's where I'm sure there are plenty of podcasts out there where it'll originate on a board somewhere that's a wrestling board or something. But someone on this message board we were posting on started a wrestling thread once. It appeared that actually quite a few people on the site liked wrestling, were closeted or didn't watch anymore or whatever.
Yeah, there's a lot of dormant wrestling fans out there.
Yeah,
waiting for the next boom period.
Even from time to time, people will surprise us by saying, "Oh, I heard this happened, or I heard Hulk Hogan's coming back, or whatever, or I heard about this network thing." But anyway, so yeah, we all posted there. The owner of the site, Chris Blake, he came to me with the idea. He basically had this package deal of sorts with the hosting company. He was like, "I can whip you up a wrestling blog if you want one." I was like, "That'd be cool," and so we did that. And from there, I was like, "We should do a podcast." And so I wrangled in Joe and Paul, and we did it. And it was just kind of a spontaneous thing we decided to do, the three of us and Chris Blake, who, if you're a new listener, you perhaps don't know who that is. That's good. And so it was just kind of a thing. We realized we were all wrestling fans. We said, why not? And 200 episodes later, here we are. And the name CSP, that was it. That was my idea. I put about 5 seconds of thought into it, so that's why it's a very generic podcast name. Thank you!
If you want to check out our original website, ChairShot.org, it's still alive. Yeah. The most recent episode was episode 80, Zombie Wrestling Federation. So,
that's
need to update that one.
That's pretty good. That's where all our old blogs are on. That's where I took the Barry blog that I posted.
They still work.
ChairShotPodcast.com lately. Yeah, everything's still up there. There's quite a lot of good old Raw reviews up there, which are quite funny that we used to write. Hidden. The problem is I don't think I can even log onto this. I don't think my login still works.
My top 50 Royal Rumble moments is still up there. If you want to
Oh yeah, I remember that. That was good.
Still works apparently, so it's good.
So yeah, thank you, Alex, for your email. We greatly appreciate it. Hope to hear from you again in the future via email and on Twitter at ChairShotPod if you want to get in touch. Next email here is from Scott. I'm sorry, everyone. My nose is after getting very stuffed up out of nowhere. It's bothering me. Anyway, Scott says, "Hello, Barry. I'm sorry to hear your doctor says you're stressed out. Maybe you should take some time away from The Last of Us. That game seems to stress you out a bit. It does. It's pretty dark." Last week, Paul mentioned that he was talking to a little girl in email.
What?
I remember this, yeah. You said you were talking to a little girl.
When was I talking to a little girl?
I don't know, mate. When were you talking to a little girl?
I don't remember. When?
Oh, he's forgotten, conveniently.
Huh? Yeah.
You definitely said it on air because we had this exact discussion.
You said you're talking to a girl, I think, and that became little girl. I don't know.
We did it. The stories weren't straight. That's what was happening.
She was definitely 16, officer.
Do you think that was the same one he took the water pistol from and she just wanted it back? No, it wouldn't be that, Scott, because he obliterated it.
And her. So.
Ugh! Anyway, that's one. Since you got caught in the rainstorm last week, did your phone get wet? If so, what phone will you be getting this time? Since every time you trade one in, you get an older phone. I'm thinking a Razor will probably be next on your list. Have a great weekend, Scott. Well, no, I'm keeping the iPhone, mate. It's great. I'm loving it. Thank you for your emails, Scott. And my final one is from a good friend, Steve, at the Bay Area. It seems quite strange that WWE would spoil Hulk Hogan coming in for WrestleMania by issuing a press release 3 days before his re-debut on Raw. Since the press release was issued, I've seen Hulk Hogan stories all over the internet. Since Hogan has still has some value as a household name, this seems like a smart move, as his name is now all over the internet and creates some buzz amongst lapsed fans, and possibly get a ratings boost Monday, as well as a few more buys for WrestleMania. Do you think it was a good move, or do you think this was not to do it this way and save it? I'm all over the place. Do you think it was a good move to do it in this way and not save it as a surprise on Raw? I thought they were going to do it on. I thought they were going to announce it this past Raw and build up to it this coming week. I feel like going the surprise route is foolish, considering they're trying to garner interest so they can plug the network as much as they can. But TLC took it and ran with it. TLC, what is up with me today? TMZ took it. TMZ, I don't want no brother. They broke the story that he was coming back, and so I guess they decided instead of the surprise route, they would just announce it ahead of time and try and garner as much word of mouth as they could, a bit of buzz.
It's got a lot of coverage in the main.
It got a lot of coverage. I mean,
a lot of them saying Hulk Hogan 60 to return to the ring, which not quite sure they've got it right.
I don't take no bumps, brother.
Bumps. I don't take no bumps.
Returning from like 8-year retirement.
Yeah, that's what they said in the WWE press release as well. He's not stepped on a mat since 2007.
Yeah. But I mean, that's the one thing I took from the Hogan story this week, was that it really shows you the disparity between WWE and everywhere else, you know.
At the same time, putting it out as a press release and not promoting it on the TV show is something like that we would rip on TNA for doing, basically, when they have this thing of not promoting stuff on TV, instead of just doing it via Dixie Carter's Twitter account. I mean, I feel like they would have got the same amount of buzz that they're getting would they announce it on Raw. But I think we would have done better for Raw, the fact that you have your full TV audience being made aware of it, first of all. But also, it would give the feeling that Raw is a show where, I mean, we've talked about this before, where big announcements can be made and big surprises can happen. But instead, Raw this week just passed by as another sort of non-event of a show, albeit one that had 2 very good matches on it. But there was nothing on Raw that really made you say, "Oh, I gotta watch this next week." It just sort of breezed on by. And then 2 days later, we just had this Hulk Hogan announcement on WWE.com. And I was just like, oh, I don't know. I don't see any logical reason why they wouldn't have just announced it on Raw, unless the deal wasn't fully done for whatever reason. But then he was down in the Performance Center. We saw the photos of him. He's looking quite well, I must say, for whatever he is, 82. Next to Dusty Rhodes, who looked like he could be Hulk Hogan's father. He looked so old. I just don't understand the logic behind not announcing it on TV.
Yeah.
Maybe they were going to do a surprise and then change their mind. Don't know.
So, that is all my emails this week.
Cool.
Fair enough. Do you have any, Joe?
I do have one from Mr. Scott McAvoy. He says, subject X-Pac Heat. He says, good evening, Joe. Last week I used the term X-Pac Heat, and you and the lads wondered why he got that term. The reason why X-Pac had that kind of heat was once he started up with WCW, he started to look like the only reason he got the opportunity he had was because of who his friends were. He never was very good on the mic. While he was very good in matches against people his own size, he never was believable against the larger guys, and it just seemed like the NWO was saving him more often than needed. Thanks for a great week, Scott. I guess that would explain if he had heat in WCW, but he still had it years later in WWE, so...
And he wasn't called X-Pac in WCW.
Yeah, it was the X-Pac
So
heat.
it's what's that word?
Anachronistic.
No, it's a malpropism.
Fair enough.
Malpropism.
6-pack heat then.
Yeah. There you go.
Start using that. Thanks for that, Scott, and that's my emails for the week. Paul.
I'm going to open mine up right now. I've got one from Scott, which is subject finishers and the fans. He says, greetings, Paul. Last week during Movie Guff, you said that the best time to see the movie Her was when you're just out of a relationship. If that's the case, how do you expect Barry to ever see the movie?
Wow, I wasn't even listening, what? If that was a diss at me, then... Suck it, Steve, or whoever said in that email.
Yeah, suck it, Corey, or Scotland Rocks.
He said, last week during Movie Guff, you said the best time to see the movie Her was when you were just out of a relationship. If that's the case, how do you expect Barry to ever see the movie?
I'm always out of one.
Yeah, but
Just out.
Just out of one.
Well, define just. How long, Paul? How recent would you recommend one would be for this scenario?
What? A month or two?
Yeah, well, that fits me then.
What?
Yeah, don't miss another show, mate. Oh, no, well, probably because you're too much of a bunch of sarcastic cunts. I didn't feel like bringing it up. Anyway, thanks for your email, Steve.
That one night you went out with an American girl doesn't count, Barry. Come on.
That what's her face off of Tinder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joanne, or whatever her name was.
I didn't say her name, and that wasn't it, by the way. But I didn't say her name.
I just
so
asked.
why are you just saying names?
I was hoping that if it was right,
he'd go, how did you know?
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, let's just take a guess.
So you just said a name. Jesus. Anyway,
he says, also you and the crew are discussing which finishers fit the wrestlers, and which ones don't. And there are two finishing moves that aren't used anymore that I think could work for a couple of wrestlers today. First would be the heart punch. And he says that someone like Ryback or the Big Show could use that and make it look devastating.
God, Ryback doing the heart punch.
I don't know about the heart punch. I mean, I think the heart punch is a decent enough looking move, but I just think it's too old fashioned to work these days, even if it was done by someone like Ryback and Big Show. Although it does go along with what we were talking about last week, where a finisher that suits the wrestler. I think someone like Big Show could do the heart punch pretty well. I think the other problem with the heart punch is it takes a lot of setup, where you have to hold the guy's hand behind his head and then punch the heart. I don't know. He says the other one is the flying armbar that George Steele used to use, and he thinks it would be great for another powerhouse like Mark Henry. Hang on, flying armbar? How's Mark Henry going to do a flying armbar?
Flying on,
George Steele didn't do a flying armbar, did he?
Del Rio does one, so what's...
Flying hammerlock, sorry. Yeah, I was thinking of... yeah.
Hang on, it's not the nature of the armhole that's the issue there, it's the flying bit.
Yeah, it's lifting the opponents off the mat by a hammerlocked arm.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not a flippy-do submission. I was thinking, how is Mark Henry going to do a flying armbar? Okay, I see what you mean. Sorry, Scott. He says, like Mark Henry or Alexander Rustov.
Yeah.
Who?
Is that his name? Rustov? Or is it Rusev?
Does it matter?
Not really. Not really.
He'd like to hear what we think, Scott. And he says, P.S. If you guys do decide to do the 200th episode live, provided he's not out of town, he will have a quiz that he's working on, ready for the three of us.
That's weird, because I was going to ask if one of our fans wanted to do a quiz, so...
What kind of quiz? I guess we'll find out.
Well, like a three-way quiz, so that we all...
Oh, yeah.
A triple threat quiz.
Yeah, that'd be really good. Maybe even if we're not live, we can organise Scott to come on, do a quiz.
Yeah.
We'll look into that, Scott. Don't you worry, baby. Next one comes from Steve, and his subject are books. He says, "Greetings from the Bay Area. There's always a lot of film talk, but where's the love for literature? Favorite novels? Favorite author?"
Nah.
Books.
Well, I'm reading a book right now, Steve. I was going to say Scott. I'm reading Peter Pan by J.M. Barrie.
As a bedtime story to a small girl, or?
To a little girl who you wrangled in via email?
Is that why you bought the sweets as well?
Oh, yeah. I'm looking for a thank you, Larry.
I don't think paedophiles actually buy sweets. Don't they just use the temptation of sweets to lure them in? Are there actually paedophiles driving around with cars full of
Well,
sweets?
to be fair, if kids fall for that, then it's their own fault. I mean, come on.
Let me see the goods, mister.
What do you mean he didn't even have any sweets? Oh,
Oh, no. Where are you taking me? I'm taking you to my evil hideout. Oh, God. Well, can I at least have the sweets? There are no sweets. Ah, no.
It's even worse.
By the way, I don't know why I suggested pedophiles have an evil hideout, nor would they identify it as such. Oh, anyway.
Yeah, I don't read books. It takes too long.
I read a few books. I have
I'm still reading The Road from like 2 months ago.
I bought the Adventure
The number one bestseller.
the Adventure Time Encyclopedia
Smith.
lately as well, and I also just finished Hyrule Historia, which is the Zelda book, which is pretty good. I don't know if that's got it. They're not novels technically, I would say. Although Peter Pan, I think, was a play initially. Novel. What was the last novel I read? I don't know. Great Expectations is a good one. The Dickens can be good.
I read that.
I quite like Great Expectations.
Spider-Man's a good.
Miss Havisham.
good read.
Comics aren't books.
Oh, not even graphic novels.
No, mate, they're for
Well,
children.
clues in the title. Clues in the title, mate.
For children. Comics,
Well, he didn't say comic. He said graphic novels. So.
yeah, well, that's just a term used by nerds to justify reading comics.
I don't think so.
It's a graphic novel. It's a fucking comic. You're a fucking idiot. Yeah, I also read all the Dan Brown ones, but I think he's brought out 2.
Oh yeah, because you're not a nerd.
I don't like. What?
Dan Brown, shite.
Yeah, I've not read this, so I can't be bothered anymore.
Oh well, he's good then.
He's the Vince Russo of the literature world. I feel
Yeah.
everything's a fucking twist every chapter.
Well,
What's a
except-
twist?
His books have actually been successful, unlike Vince Russo's booking. So
I think you find he was the best writer ever or something, mate.
oh yeah. Ratings. Yeah, I've got Watchmen still to read.
Well, Watchmen is good.
I'll try to start that soon. I'll do a book report for CSP.
Oh, lovely. Joe Downey's book report. And he says, on that note, since you're all Simpsons fans, has anyone read any of the John Swartzwelder novels? He's one of the main writers, and since leaving the show, he's been writing hilarious detective novels. The main character is essentially Homer as a detective. He gives him a 10 out of 10. Love the show.
I have heard of those because they talk about them in their commentaries. I've not sought them out, but apparently they're very funny.
Fair enough.
Let me take a look at what books I own. Right. I'm not going to count college books. Let me see here. We've got a Twitter year. A friend of mine bought me when I was in hospital, which basically is just a book of tweets. We've got Happy Slapped by a Jellyfish by one Carl Pilkington. We've got Russell Brand's Bookie Wook. We've got a Charlie Brooker book, which is just a compilation of reviews. We've got The Death of WCW. We've got Chris Jericho's 2 books, and we've got a book about The Wire. So that is my entire book collection. And I've got The Road somewhere here. Still unfinished. So yeah.
That's all my emails. Thanks for that, Steve. Scott. Oh no, sorry. I've just got one in. Dun, dun. It's from Will. And Will says, subject, let's play. I don't know whether this is some sort of sexual advance or...
Is it a request?
No, it's not. It says, with what which Twitch plays Pokemon and your return to Let's Plays, will we ever see a Paul plays Pokemon? If not, what other games would you like to do? Loving the show, Will. Thanks, Will. Possibly Pokemon, yeah. I just got done playing Pokemon trading card game, and that was pretty short, so I nearly could have... I was playing at work, that was the only problem, which is why I didn't do that. Yeah, possibly Pokemon. Although Pokemon, I feel, it's normally quite a long game. It's normally about 40 hours. Whereas Mario World, I could probably get through in about 12. Trading card game only took me 13. I wouldn't rule out a Pokemon one, but it's quite a big commitment playing Pokemon, and I've beaten every Pokemon game, so it wouldn't be a new experience really. Other games, Yoshi's Island maybe I'd be into.
Classic.
N64. Let me think on N64. Zelda, possibly. Run through one of the Zeldas. I reckon I could beat Ocarina of Time pretty quickly. I don't know what else. GoldenEye. I don't know. I like games that either are quite easy to beat, so they don't take 40 hours to beat.
Yeah.
But are tricky enough that I'll fuck up a lot, and that to be the draw, because I'm not particularly good at these games, especially using the Xbox controller. Yeah, I don't know, Pokemon possibly, or maybe Pokemon Snap or some other type of Pokemon game. Because Pokemon is very long. It's a very, very long game.
Yeah.
Although maybe going back and playing Pokemon Red now, maybe it only felt long at the time because it was like the first one of its kind.
I also don't think it would be particularly stimulating to watch that being streamed by someone, unless it was happening to be streamed by 80,000 people at the same time.
Yeah, I think games like Mario are a little bit more appealing for people to watch because Pokemon is essentially a strategy game.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of it you're just watching is Paul used tackle. It took 5 HP off a Pidgey. You know?
Mm-hmm.
So, thanks, Will. We'll see. We'll see, Will. So yeah, like I was saying earlier, if anyone wants to watch me play Mario World, youtube.com/ I'll put it on my Twitter. I don't like giving out my YouTube because I got other stuff on it. I gotta hide stuff. Anyway,
just make it private or on.
I'll put it on my Twitter. Twitter.com/ Paul Griffin CSP. I'll put the video up now so people can watch it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all.
So with that said, we should probably jump into some news, of which there is an abundance this week, I believe.
Yeah. Breaking news.
Mm-hmm.
The Undertaker looks like a 48-year-old man.
Which he is.
Yeah. People were outraged for some reason.
What is this?
Were they?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. People are like, look how old he is!
Well, yeah, but...
It's like he's been wrestling for 23 years.
Yeah.
He's, you know, it's not like Dolph Ziggler suddenly turns up with a walking stick and a cane or whatever.
Which he
Not
might soon.
Kane's the Undertaker's brother, by the way.
Yeah. But yeah, he looked a bit like Mike Ehrmantraut.
Yeah.
From Breaking Bad.
Yeah, funnily enough, someone in Godfather 2 reminded me of Mike Ehrmantraut as well today.
Was it him?
Was it the actor?
The Jewish guy in the movie. Roth, I think his name is. What was the guy? Hyman Roth?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is Hyman Roth. Yeah, he reminds me a bit of Mike from Breaking Bad as well.
But yeah, he's
Just
old.
general demeanor. He also had the sort of sticky out ears, which reminds
Undertaker looks like Mr. Anderson's dad in this picture. Oh man.
Yeah. So yeah, Undertaker. I like how this same thing happens every year around WrestleMania time when the photos of Undertaker in a baseball cap.
They defrost him, he comes out of hibernation, and everyone's just shocked. It's like the groundhog coming out. Oh.
But yeah. Whatever, he's old. That's how aging works, people.
Yeah. He doesn't look that old. He's not.
Unless... yeah. What else happened this week?
Hulk Hogan's coming back.
As we discussed,
It's speaking of Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
All the dinosaurs are coming back to life around this time of the year.
Wow. Gotta have one more match where it matters.
Brother.
Mm-hmm. He's the host. By the way, he's the host. For those of you who missed the story, that is his official title. He's in the host role.
Yeah. So he'll come out during the main event, and
so he's going to beat up Jack Swagger or someone, and then whatever.
Yeah, I can see him doing something like that.
I'd like to see him in Cena's corner to help him fight off the Wyatt family. And then the two of them could do like a pose down afterwards.
Yeah, I can
And
see that.
Hogan could do the, you can't see me.
That would be wonderful. Sorry, that yawn wasn't intentional sarcasm. I was just actually tired.
Yeah.
Although to be honest, that would be a shit idea.
Yeah, that's great.
I think Hulk would be a good host. I think he can do the job of coming out and
brother. Here we are, WrestleMania, dude.
And the crowd would be getting into it, and then he'd be like,
And here's our opening contest. It's Titus O'Neil against the Miz, brother.
and the crowd would be dead then.
And then they'd be chanting for CM Punk, and he's like, "You had CM Punk for years, and it didn't cut it, brother. So now he's out, and we're in with the four-sided ring. You pussies can keep foaming at the lips and suck it, brother."
God.
Uh,
I think Hulk Hogan. I mean, we were talking about Hogan. The speculation was that he would be the host for months now.
yeah,
I think it's a good little pick, especially with the network coming out.
yeah. It's, I mean, you know, his return is less annoying than some of the other ones because it's not like he's going to do anything.
Yeah. Although I'm not particularly annoyed by any of them.
I'm not a big fan of Batista
Why? Why are people suddenly turning on Batista?
because he's rubbish. We haven't suddenly.
Because we remembered he's rubbish.
Yeah.
No, I still like Batista. I think he's just more effective as a heel than a babyface because he's
Not effective at all as a
a
babyface.
bit of a twat, isn't he? Well, he was before. I think the problem with Batista is mostly that people have this opinion that the people they have this perception of people who come in as part timers, which I don't even believe Batista is, by the way.
He's not.
They have this perception the part timers come in to take the spots away from.
It's not that he's a part-timer, it's that he's rubbish.
Yeah, but I'm talking about generally. I think people have this perception that they don't. They since The Rock came back and made it WrestleMania twice, they have this built-in perception that they have to hate the part-timers who come in because, for whatever reason, they feel like they're getting an advantage by coming in and being pushed to the top and not bothering to do house shows, and they feel like there's that injustice. Whereas I think Batista is a little bit okay. Fair enough. Batista for the most part has been shite since he came back, but I feel like there is this little not fully deserved hatred that was nearly already there against Batista before he'd even come back and done anything, because people have that perception against part-timers as lazy and uncaring for the most part. Like, they feel like they're already coming in for the money. I've seen that criticism on Twitter quite a lot already of
Batista's only there for the money.
like the full-time wrestlers aren't, you know, like they're all doing it for the love of the business. So I just feel like the hate against Batista is a little unwarranted. I mean, fair enough, he's not blown people away, but I still think Batista's fine.
Maybe they just, maybe more people saw that MMA fight than they reckon.
They can't buy Batista as a tough guy anymore. It's the Vince
No.
McMahon thing. If you want to get to this cheeseburger and you have to go through Batista, Roman Reigns.
They're just like, oh god, look at that stupid sci-fi thingy he's in. That looks stupid.
Oh, did you see the trailer for Guardians of the Galaxy? By the way?
Yeah, it looks alright.
I think it was shite. I think it was shit.
Yeah, I didn't care for it beforehand, then I saw that and I was like, oh, okay. Alright.
I don't see the draw of like what is in that trailer that makes you think, yeah, I want to go see that movie. It just looks like a
Raccoons.
take of.
Batista, he's in it.
Yeah.
You love him, Paul, so...
I do like Batista. Yeah, I like Batista.
And you like raccoons. and you like generic white men in leading roles.
I do like that.
Yeah. Or you got off the white ones.
People don't get what you're referring to, bro. That's quite.
What I do?
I don't think even Joe was there with us.
Oh, well, Paul is a racist. Anyway.
I'm not racist.
Anyway. What else have let me think this week? Ring of Honor just made an announcement. The stars of New Japan will be coming to them in the date soon. So that would be good.
Sometimes.
Sometime soon. No, that's good.
It's
Tanahashi Okada.
It's the May 10th and May 17th shows.
Okay, well, that's a long time away. But yeah, Tanahashi Okada, a number of others, Ishii. So yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Their Honor Con festival is ongoing currently with meet and greets and stuff like that. So
I figured that would be a bigger announcement, though.
I think how much bigger can you get? It's Ring of Honor, you know.
Yeah, but I mean, for
Hulk Hogan coming
as far as no, but I mean, even as far as getting new fans, that announcement is only going to apply to people who already like Ring of Honor. You know, that's not going to do anything to get more people watching. Because I feel people in America who are aware of the New Japan product probably already watch or are at least aware of Ring of Honor.
Almost certainly, yeah.
You know, it's not even an announcement like, and I know this is like very unlikely and impossible, but it's not even an announcement of like, oh, we're having 2 special appearances by CM Punk, whatever, you know, or even someone smaller. If it was we've signed AJ Styles to a 3-year deal or something. The fact that they're doing 2 shows with New Japan stars on a big scale means nothing to a lot of people because they don't know or about or watch New Japan anyway, except the hardcores who are already
watching Ring of Honor.
Ring of Honor, yeah. So, when I had heard speculation about this announcement, I figured it would be something a little bit bigger because that's a very niche announcement to me.
I guess. Yeah. Well, it's a very niche company still.
Yeah, in fact, it's weird because I feel like Ring of Honor is smaller now than it was. Jesus, back in 2004, 2005.
Yeah.
Like even back then, it felt like Ring of Honor had like a bigger fan base and maybe was more well regarded than it is now.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know. I think Ring of Honor now, since they lost Bryan Danielson, Tyler Black, Nigel McGuinness, El Generico,
Antonio Cesaro.
Yeah, it just feels a little more rinky-dink. I don't feel like they've really replaced, I guess, what you'd call the Ring of Honor stars. Even Samoa Joe, CM Punk.
Speaking of Antonio Cesaro, apparently his stock is on the rise after Monday night when he got a standing ovation backstage after his match with John Cena, apparently.
Well, he's just Cesaro now, first of all.
Oh, yeah, he's Cesaro, rather.
And all WWE stock has been on the rise lately.
Oh, Segur. Very nice.
Yeah. Their stock's doing well because the network is launching, apparently.
Yeah, and people are confident, which I don't know.
Yeah, well, they released the schedule.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, Monday, there's one show on. It's a Raw from 1997. It's like... I don't know, I feel like they were going to have more stuff on.
Well, they will, but they haven't announced it yet. Although it does launch in like 2 days, so maybe they should.
Yeah, I feel like there'll be a lot of repeats as well.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think the bulk of the 24-hour stream is just going to be you'll flick it on and there's SummerSlam 2000 or whatever, you know.
That'd be pretty cool.
I
don't know how much of it you can just fill up with randomness. You know, I feel like there should be at least some sort of schedule. And maybe every day, if you have a 3-hour window, you can pop a pay-per-view on or something.
Yeah. So yeah, that schedule is out there. You can check it out on WWE.com. That thing launches in 2 days after Raw, and people seem a lot more tepid on it now as it's just around the corner. No more, people aren't predicting that it's going to be the huge success that WWE needs it to be. I can't really make a prediction. I think could go either way. But one thing that would certainly have them thinking, boy, I hope this thing works, is that a lot of the older traditional pay-per-view providers are they're not fucking around. And Dish Network in the States has confirmed they will not be carrying Elimination Chamber this Sunday.
I think that's very interesting.
Yeah. Because you feel like ultimately down the line, if this network is successful, that they would have ditched them anyway. But for the time being, they need them because the network's not going to be a huge success right away, you know.
Yeah, I quite like the balls of Dish just saying, "Well, fuck you, then."
Yeah.
Because I feel like Vince McMahon probably felt like, oh, well, sure. Like they've essentially given a big fuck you to the pay-per-view providers by launching this network in the first place. And I guess their approach was going to be that, they'll just, they'll still want the money from however many pay-per-views will still be sold. So they'll, just take it, basically. But in fact, Dish have sort of said, well, fuck you then. You've got to carry everything if you're going to throw us under the bus.
I mean, with their pay-per-views declining, consistently, month to month, yes, they are losing out on a little bit of money, but at the end of the day, it's probably a drop in the ocean to their whole sort of pay-per-view business.
Well, yeah, I mean, compared to the monthly UFC, even the low end UFC shows do like
Yes.
300,000 buys, you know?
Backdoor,
Compared to...
Backdoor Sluts 9. That's not a UFC show, that's a separate pay-per-view.
Is that not the one tonight?
But I mean, yeah, I mean, that'd be quite interesting to get the numbers on the porno pay-per-views. Compare.
I hear they do 69.
Oh.
Still more than TNA. Yeah, I mean, considering, and even the boxing, I can't speak for your typical boxing events with no-name bum fighters, but your Mayweather routinely does, you know, God, the last one didn't they do almost 2 million buys?
Yeah, looking at 2 million for
So-
Mayweather. Smaller ones must do several 100,000 at least. So.
And I mean, as far even with UFC, when people are talking about the Durntown,
Turn tone.
when people are talking about the Durntown in the UFC's, when you were lonely, navigating you don't, you can
always go
turn
downtown.
the downturn in the UFC's in UFC 14 lately. The December pay-per-view still did over 1 million buys, you know.
Mm.
So, and WWE can only do that with WrestleMania, and now they don't even have that anymore because they've given away in the network.
Thanks. I had the conference call this week, and I saw a list on 411 Mania of their top revenue sources.
Yeah.
Like TV rights was number one by quite a long way, so they're keeping that. But two of the other big ones, obviously pay-per-view and sort of DVD, home entertainment,
Yeah.
which the network will probably kill off both of those streams. So really, it's going to have to be successful enough to replace those two things.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not, then
Yeah, that is the main risk, I think, of the network, is the cannibalization of their other products, like reviews and DVDs. Because, I mean, the only thing that you would still consider is when they release a new DVD, like I'm sure they have a list of upcoming DVD releases. What I can only assume is, and they've not said it outright, is when they release a new DVD, it probably won't be on the network for maybe a year or so. Especially with like the latest pay-per-view. Because one thing that they've said is, you know, the network has all pay-per-views, but I assume it's only going to have all pay-per-views up to the day of the launch. I assume that like when WrestleMania is shown on the network, it'll be shown as a TV show on the live network. I don't know whether it's going to be put on the on-demand service straight away. That doesn't make much sense to me.
that's interesting. I assumed it would be because you kind of might want to rewatch it.
I think if it is going to be, though, that would have been something they would have pushed. Like that, like the day after WrestleMania, it's available on demand, but they've not mentioned it at all. So that feels like
interesting,
they're
yeah.
trying to.
I think they're trying to get away from that whole thing of, you know, mentioning that every pay-per-view will be available on demand after it airs, because that won't be true for Elimination Chamber, and the network launches the next day. So there are some concerns that half the carriers aren't carrying this, and some people probably think they can get it on the network the next day, and that's not true. You know,
Exactly.
Is this going to be the least bought pay-per-view in the history of WWE? Because of the various issues.
it's funny because I've enjoyed the build and I like the look of the card, but they might have some problems.
Because TLC only did 180,000 or something, didn't it?
Yeah, TLC didn't do.
Well, I mean, they've done much lower than that before.
Yeah.
December to Dismember, for instance, did that even do 100,000 buys?
Battleground, by the way, is now the second least bought, right behind that.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I don't think it'll do quite that badly because the network's not launched yet, and I think there is something to say about watching the pay-per-view live as it happens. So I can still see it doing about 120 buys, maybe.
we'll see.
Is it on Sky Sports or is it on Sky Box Office tomorrow?
Sports.
Okay, well,
Okay.
maybe a little bit lower then. Maybe 100,000 something. It'd be interesting for sure. It's not a particularly good card either, although the Wyatt's Shield thing's been done. That's been quite interesting.
I don't know. I really like the look of that chamber match. I think it looks good.
Yeah.
I think it looks good, but I don't think it's been really built in a way. It's the better feuds for me are the ones where there is some sort of emotional connection rather than it just being a series of matches building to a match, which is what this
Yeah.
one's been. It's not been a feud per se. It's just been
a series of losses for Randy Orton and BJ Christian.
it's essentially been a sports build-up rather than
Boo!
a soap opera build-up, really. You know what I mean? It's I don't know whether the fans are that much into that.
It's pretty telegraphed as well. You can kind of see what's going to happen.
Well, go on then. Give it to us, yeah.
Orton retains the title to go on and face Batista. Daniel Bryan gets screwed somehow. John Cena.
Somehow, how does he get screwed?
Just don't know. Triple H hits him with a sledgehammer.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Wyatts cause Cena to lose.
Yeah.
They might do that
That's the thing
teleporting into the ring.
That's the thing about the
Beep, beep, beep. Oh, they're in the ring! Beep, beep, beep. Oh, now they're gone, and so is John Cena.
Why are they the anonymous Raw GM?
Why is Sammy Callahan helping them? His little tablet.
Yeah.
No, the thing about the Wyatt Cena matches, since the pay-per-view, there's been no interaction between them whatsoever. It's like almost been forgotten about. Like, why did they even do it in the first place? Why didn't they just wait till Elimination Chamber and have him screw him out of the title then? Because John Cena's not looked for any revenge against them.
This is the problem with him just being put in the title match. So it was like, they screwed him out of the title, but hang on, he's got to have another one, so hold on, lads. I'll see you in a month.
Yeah.
Just doesn't make any sense.
Like, the Wyatts screwed Cena, and then just immediately moved on to a feud with the Shield. There's been no interaction between the Wyatts and Cena since.
Yeah.
I mean, apart from the schmoz at the end of Raw, when they're all
They're both busy men.
Yeah.
Anyway, what else is in the news?
Viscera dead.
Dead.
Oh.
Big
Why?
dead Evie.
Why do the Abyss always die young? Oh, because of the... yeah.
Aw.
No, it's sad.
Do you think they're going to have to get the big Yokozuna casket out?
Well, isn't he already in it?
There's hardly room for another one in there, Paul.
The big jumbo casket. Yeah, Viscera's dead.
I don't really feel one way or the other on that. I mean, obviously it's sad. Anyone dying is sad.
Well, I quite liked Viscera when I was young. I remember him and Midian doing the tag team. Viscera and Midian.
Yeah, I remember when he returned at the 99 Royal Rumble, kind of out of nowhere. That was quite exciting, but it's probably my only memory of Mabel.
Yeah. I remember he had a big leather trench coat.
God, yeah. How many cows did it take to put that thing together?
And he used to do a wheel kick. And I remember he had a match against Mark Henry over the love of Mae Young.
God.
I think didn't he give Mae Young a splash during the match? I think that's a fully loaded 99, possibly.
Yeah.
And he did the splash, and the camera feed cut out because how fat he was. And then he came back, and he was the world's largest love machine. And his finisher was like he humped men. That was his move.
God.
Yeah, I remember seeing because I don't think I was watching at the time, but I remember I did that in one of the video games, and I was like, "What? He doesn't do that on TV. There's no way."
Yeah.
And I think it'd be weird when you'd beat someone via KO with that move. You just hump them to death.
That was his finishing move. It was called, I think it was called the Walrus.
Who'd he beat with it? Who'd he ever beat?
Whoever was up for it, I suppose. And then he was Big Daddy V with the moon titties.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
And Matt Stryker was his...
I can't believe they 20 years they eventually got around to giving him a gimmick where it's just look at all this, look at it all hang out.
Look at that butterfly. But yeah, Matt Stryker was his manager, and he had his last ever match in WWE was against CM Punk on ECW, which CM Punk won by count out. And then he gave Matt Stryker the go to sleep, and it was the best, to this date, the best sell of the go to sleep that anyone's ever done. So go check that out if you've not seen it.
Yeah, it sounds like a winner. Big Daddy V, Matt Stryker, and CM Punk.
But just go for the sell. Hell in the cell. Yeah, it's sad, but he's not been around. They were never going to use him again because of how fighting old he was. I imagine he was probably pretty immobile towards the end as well. He's a big guy, quite tall as well.
Immable.
Oh dear.
Move on quick. What else happened?
What has happened in the news? I don't know.
We've done Hogan, we've done the network.
Done the pay-per-views.
CM Punk's on a sabbatical.
Yeah, according to Vince, yeah.
Make it out.
Anything happen in TNA?
I don't think so. Is there anything on TNA?
No, I don't think so.
Let me have a look here. I'm just having a brief breeze through here. No, it's all network news this week, isn't it?
Yeah, basically. that is a couple days ago, so a couple days away, I should say. So we'll see. So I guess that's it for news. The question now, though, is who would like to do Raw?
Well, there wasn't. Sorry, go on, Joe.
Well, I was going to say, well, not me, because I haven't watched any wrestling again this week.
Joe!
I forgot! I was going to, but I forgot!
How do you forget to watch it?
Did you listen to any wrestling podcasts? Did you listen
I
to
listened to Wrestling Observer podcast.
Did you listen to the Sauce Report?
No, I did not.
Oh.
Did not look good. It was on Austin.
Yeah, because you never heard those two talk before.
God, yeah. Thank God.
I listened to John Cena on Austin's podcast.
How was that?
It was alright. People were like, "Oh, it was so candid." It was not. It was more candid than John Cena usually is, but it wasn't amazing.
My girlfriend's titties are all made of rock.
Good.
Good.
Who was that an impression of? Or was that just you?
Was that Austin or Cena?
That was just Paul Griffin, just...
Anyway. I haven't heard Zeb Coulter yet, but I imagine that's probably a good one. But yeah, Raw. Oh, what happened on Raw? I don't even know.
There was just two really good matches on Raw. There was Cesaro against Cena, obviously.
Oh, excellent match.
And I thought Daniel Bryan and Christian had a really good match as well.
Yeah, that was good too.
But yeah, Joe.
Christian sort of like half turned heel.
Yeah, he was just a heel during the match.
He shoved Daniel Bryan he shoved him before the bell, and that was his heel turn.
But then he was playing heel during the match as well.
Yeah, oh, that sucked. But the match is good. I guess they needed him to be a heel. For whatever reason. Too ugly to be a babyface. What else was there? And then there was the excellent John Cena Cesaro match, which was early match of the year contender. Really great stuff. Cesaro's awesome, so...
Yeah, I mean, you certainly missed a good week of wrestling, Joe.
I skipped the Fandango Emma nonsense. I'm now already skipping the Emma nonsense. I just watched her thing on SmackDown there a couple of minutes ago, and it was terrible.
They were teasing that she was going to kiss Santino, and they were like two 11-year-olds being forced to kiss at their friend's behest. With still going like, oh, girls are stupid, the cooties. So they're all like, oh, kiss.
Italians are sweaty and
Freaking oily-haired bastard, yeah.
But yeah, I didn't even see that because I skipped it. But whatever.
Yeah, it was a load of nonsense for the most part. And then Fandango won with a Falcon Arrow for some reason.
He did the deal. That's his finisher now, is it?
I guess his hips aren't taking those flying leg drops so well anymore.
Well, they don't lie, so listen to them.
Oh, I'm looking forward to this.
What is that? And with her great number one hit, hips don't lie.
Whatever. Run the road. You don't have to.
When I was out on Thursday, in that nightclub while sober, that song Beyonce and Shakira did came on. Which, first of all, what a weird thing, because the rest of the music was all your very typical fucking shite that came out in the last 3 years, and then this song from like 10 years ago when Beyonce and Shakira.
What was that song that they did?
It was like, but the lyrics were like Beyonce, Beyonce, Shakira, Shakira. Those were the actual lyrics. Like they sang their names a lot. Beautiful Liar, I think it was called.
Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah.
Oh,
that's a decent enough little song.
It's an alright song. I thought it was a weird pick, and I forgot that those were the lyrics. Anyway, Raw. I don't think there was any women on Raw.
There was.
Other than the Emma thing. Yeah, other than them. No,
because AJ Lee had the week off.
Yeah.
And people were taking photos of her.
Oh yeah, we've
out
got
of an airport trash can.
Yeah, that's
a book over there.
Yeah, nothing would bring him back quicker than that. Being reminded that that's what happens to you.
Well, I mean, that's going to happen to him either way. I'm sure that's not a big deal, but
He's
always someone who's sort of shirked the public eye, I suppose, to an extent.
So he certainly doesn't dress up for him.
Yeah, but the Paps. What can you say about him?
Well, you should always get one because you never know what you have, ladies. You know what I mean?
I knew that's where he was going to go.
I was also thinking of going past Blue Ribbon, but I was like, nah.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I think I make the smear joke every
say
time
what you will about
Sorry.
pedophiles and drug pushers, and pimps, prostitution, and all that. But I gotta say, paparazzi is probably the worst scum of the earth job you would really have.
Oh, say what you will. Did you list pedophiles as an occupation there? So-and-so just updated his LinkedIn profile. Congratulate him on the new job. I'll tell you what we need to do, lads. We need to cut expenses by not having any candy in the actual van, right? Because it's just frivolous.
Yeah.
They're either going to come in or not.
Well,
or just have one lanky Larry in there.
Well, a lot of pedophiles hide their true occupation and put down BBC presenter as their job.
Oh,
Oh,
satire.
Satirical.
Turn that around. Save that mistake I made.
Yep. What else happened on Raw?
What were you even talking about? Raw. Yeah, well, the Cesaro match was excellent. The leap out of the FU.
Yeah.
Was something to behold for a man of his size. So, Joe, you've not seen it. So, Cena has Cesaro up on his arms for the FU. And you know when they sort of flip out of the FU? So he throws them through the FU, they land on their feet and sort of stumble a bit. And
Yeah.
Cesaro took this majestic flip out of the AA, lands on his feet, running, hits the ropes without missing a beat, and hits Cena with a big boot. It was
so good.
My god! I couldn't believe it. A man of his size to be so coordinated. It's taking. It was like something out of the Olympics. Like honestly, it was that. When the little 16-year-olds, who I don't talk to, by the way, Scott, wherever that came from.
You said it.
When they do their little flippy doos and then just land their feet after doing 80 cartwheels, whatever.
They don't let 16-year-olds in the Olympics, by the way.
I'm pretty sure they do.
Yeah, they do.
Do they?
In gymnastics, they do. Yeah.
So Cesaro
that's why gymnasts are always so small and flat.
Yeah. Why are you looking?
Wait a second, 16-year-olds shouldn't be. Never mind, doesn't matter.
I think you're looking at the male gymnastics, right?
Oh.
Scott, where the movies at?
Well, the names are so funny because they're foreign, so it confuses
Yeah,
me.
it's all Starkalakovic. All the bloody Russians. What are they like? Oh, Winter Olympics is in Russia, of course, isn't it? So Cesaro took this crazy throw off Cena, lands directly on his feet, and just keeps running. It was amazing. And he gave Cena the big giant swing, which was tremendous as well.
There was lots of cool, reversals in and out of the giant swing setup too. It was really great.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Cena was being held by the legs by Cesaro, as if he's going to swing him, and Cena uses his core abdominal strength to sort of sit up out of it, hit him with a DDT.
Yeah. Oh, that was awesome. Yeah, that was so cool.
So,
They worked like a proper pay-per-view main event. Like they went really long.
It was honestly that good. It was that good.
It was really good. Yeah.
The crowd gave them the "This is awesome" chant, and it really was. It was something to behold. It was a really, really good match. One thing I was watching as well this week was the Cena Punk match from Night of Champions.
Oh yeah.
When Cena hit him with the suicide dive.
Oh yeah. That was great.
Like that's something Cena should maybe pull out on the big stage a little more often, because it was pretty good.
Maybe he'll do it. Maybe he'll do it at WrestleMania with Wyatt, and they will they'll recreate the Bryan match finish. Or not finish. They can recreate it for a near fall at WrestleMania where Bryan did the dive, Bray caught him, Sister Abigail into the barricade.
Or maybe since Undertaker won't be able to do the big jump anymore, maybe Cena can do it.
That's a bad idea. Never heard one.
He's so uncoordinated. I can just imagine him.
He would die. He would actually die trying to do that.
You saw the Vine Chuck Taylor sent out this week, by the way, Barry.
No.
He sent out a Vine that he was it was in two parts. The first one was him doing a springboard plunge to the outside.
Oh, I did. Yeah. I saw
So
that.
that's what I imagine what happened with Cena trying to do the Undertaker's plunge. He gets his legs caught in the top rope and nearly flips over and cracks his head off the ring apron. God, that was a dangerous looking spot. Yeah, I don't know. That suicide dive he did was pretty good. And I mean, Cena normally is very uncoordinated in what he does, which is, I think, partly why he gets a bad rep as being a bad wrestler, because while he can have really good matches, as he proved again this week, the way he does the moves often looks clumsy and unwieldy. But I like that suicide dive he did looked good. So I think that's something he could pull out a bit more often. Even the DDT he did, while it was very cool, something about the way he landed the DDT looked a little awkward, you know. And of course he's probably got some of the worst punches in the company.
In the biz.
In the product, as it were. Yeah, I think Cena gets a bad rap still these days. I still don't know whether I would consider him as. I don't know. Me and Barry have always had this little debate, but whether he is what is a good wrestler? You know, what defines a good wrestler? Is it the crispness of the moves, or is it the good match, the storytelling? And while I think Cena has half of it down, I still think he's very clumsy. Not the prettiest wrestling, for sure.
No, of course not.
But this match was really bloody good. And Cesaro, I don't want people either to give Cesaro too much credit for carrying Cena, because it certainly wasn't that. But
no, yeah, that's stupid. Yeah.
But Cesaro is fucking good. He's really good. And this match was probably the best match I've seen so far this year.
I would say so. Yeah.
Cena and Cesaro. Although I think Daniel Bryan and Christian had a really good match. The story was, Bryan was selling the arm the whole match, which is strange because Christian doesn't have a submission that he could put on his arm. And then Bryan rolled him up at the end. But I thought it was really, really good match too. So I would say this Raw is well worth watching for those two matches alone. It wasn't a very storyline driven Raw, as we had been saying. Or as I had been saying, the pay-per-view hasn't really had a lot of that to it in the build of it. Even the
main event, the Elimination Chamber.
Sorry, even the Shield and Wyatt stuff was sort of the same stuff we'd seen the previous week again. You know, it's just the tease and the bait and switch of the fight. So I think that's going to be a very heated match initially when they start fighting. The thing is, with the Wyatts and the Shield, it feels like something they should hold off to WrestleMania. Almost seems like it's a waste to have it on Elimination Chamber. I know they're dead set on the Wyatt Cena thing, but just how hot that's been the last few weeks, it just, to me, makes more sense as a WrestleMania match. These two powerhouse teams that have been running Raw they're going to collide at WrestleMania. Like, that really seems like a big Mania match to me. And it just seems a shame that they're going to give it away on a pay-per-view that not too many people seem like they're going to be getting.
So yeah, I don't think there's anything else. There was no major angles on Raw. The closing angle was like a big brawl with the Chamber guys and the Shield and the Wyatts, I believe, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, didn't we talk before about what wouldn't it be cool if they did a chamber match between those two teams?
Mm-hmm. But that would basically be war games at that stage, though.
Yeah, well, why not?
Which is good, yeah. But, you know.
I think it'd be cool. Because to me, it just seems like I don't know how good the match is going to be or how heated it's going to be once they actually get going. Because a lot of time you are going to have, Rollins selling for Eric Rowan. I don't know if they're going to be able to keep the momentum the whole match. Although that being said, I would think it will be a very good match. But I think the anticipation of seeing them fight isn't going to be quite as good as them actually seeing the comp. I don't think it'll be quite as heated as the build has been. If I'm honest, TBH over here. IMHO. TBF. What does TBF mean?
To be fair.
To be fair, lads. Don't know if it should be that good. Was there anything else on this Raw worth discussing?
Nope.
No.
And I didn't watch Impact or SmackDown, so...
No, not did I. Oh.
Good.
Dropping some plastic on my
How did we not watch that Gunnar Magnus title match?
There was a title match? I didn't even read the Impact. I don't even know what's happening on Impact, he said. Honestly. TBH.
Yeah.
Gunnar had a match with Magnus. Aren't they both?
He cashed in
Is
his
Gunnar
money
a
in the
heel or
bank.
face?
Gunner's the
He's
face.
fired.
Okay, sorry.
James Storm turned heel.
Gunner's an American hero.
Yeah, how could you say? How could you even ask that question, Paul?
Didn't Jesse Neal have that American Hero segment when he was a heel anyway?
He wasn't a hero enough. He only killed like 50, Muslims. Gunner's killed loads more. So
That's why he's called Gunner, because he gunned them all down.
he had a gun. Yeah, good on him. Fair enough. Freedom. Elimination Chamber.
Oh, that's tomorrow. Fucking hell.
Yep.
Ugh.
And we've got a loaded card, ladies and gentlemen. Kicking off with, on the undercard, on the pre-show rather, the Brothers Rhodes versus Rybaxel. What a hell of a match that is. Forgot to mention on Raw, by the way, the ultimate confirmation that the Rhodes brothers are irrelevant now is they were backstage playing with toys that they were blatantly shilling. And then Bad News Barrett came in and said, I've got some bad news, and he kicked them.
The toys, that is not the Rhodes.
The ultimate loser segment to be in.
It was even worse than you're describing, honestly.
I don't know, Bad News Barrett was okay.
Well, the
I'm afraid I've got some bad news. And he just kicks their toys.
The
like
Rhodes
flag.
were backstage playing with the WWE knockoff Lego. Because the Lego movie's out, but they don't have a Lego deal, so it's Smack... What's it called again?
Stack down.
Stack Down or something, yeah. So, they're playing with Lego. Well, actually, only Cody's playing with Lego, because Goldust comes in and goes, can I play with
Grown men playing with Lego. Oh, God.
Oh, how much did they spend on that? 27 quid?
Oh,
Wait, no, worse than that, wasn't it? It was like 70 you spent.
Yeah, about 70 quid.
Oh,
I spent about 50 quid when I was in London on Lego.
Yeah.
Anyway, they're playing... Well, Cody's playing with the WWE Lego. And Goldust comes in and says, can I play with your Lego too? And Cody says, I don't think it's really for you. You see, I was always the sort of... He says, I was always the builder of the family, whatever. And he goes, Dad was the dreamer, and you're sort of the... And Goldust goes, don't say freak. And then, of course, he's all touching Cody's lips all over. And then Cody says, right, you can play with it. And they're when the wrestlers are playing with the toys, they're going, oh, don't play with the toys. And Bad News Bar comes in, and he goes, I'm sorry, I've got some bad news.
You two look like a pair of twerps.
This isn't in real Lego.
I'm afraid I've got some bad news. Everything is not okay.
So anyway, he didn't even so much...
Wait, no, that's not even the song. What am I saying? Everything is awesome is the song. God damn.
No.
So he didn't even kick it, really, as much as sweep a little bit of the Lego off the table.
With his foot.
With his foot. which in fairness did prompt a very good line from Goldust, who went, "The Undertaker's there. His bike's all the way over there," which I thought was quite funny. But they were upset that the Lego was kicked.
Yeah.
And that was it. And they're like, we could just rebuild it because it's Lego.
We can rebuild it.
Yeah. So that was.
That was that. Yeah, we have to make sure we got made mention of that. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what they're paying Ben for nowadays. Kicking toys.
Yeah, and they're having a match on the pre-show against Ryback.
Yeah. Who I don't. Were they even on Raw? I don't think so.
If they were, I skipped it.
Did you see Ryback's new ring attire, which has Ryback on the back of it?
Yeah.
And Curtis Axel looks like a little
special child.
Little Down syndrome boy.
Yes, I did see that. I also saw his one that's like, it says internet legend on it, has a picture of a keyboard.
I really like Ryback.
Anyway.
He's going a little bit down to Zack Ryder.
Way cooler.
Yeah, but we're spending all this money on. I assume he's on like these personalized
gear,
ring attire.
Anyway, on the main show, the Usos will challenge the New Age Outlaws for the tag team titles.
Yeah,
I
don't know how good it is for the New Age Outlaws to keep beating all their best modern teams.
See, I thought the Usos were going to win at WrestleMania, but I don't know if they should lose here. Maybe they can lose here and win at WrestleMania. That's fine.
Yeah,
I like the Usos.
Yeah, me too.
I can't believe the New Age Outlaws are still the tag team champions.
I know, it's weird, isn't it?
Yeah. I didn't expect them to win that cage match. We've got, actually on the pay-per-view, Darren Young against Titus O'Neil.
Well, it's Black History Month.
Yeah, gotta give him something. I tell you what, I don't dislike this. This match is going to die a death, but Titus's promos have been okay, and they beat each other up backstage and stuff. So it's like, it's a feud. It's more than they usually do with guys at this level, you know. Normally they'll break up and that's kind of it, and they'll maybe lay each other out after a match or something. But they've put a bit of effort into this, and I like Titus O'Neil, so I don't know. We'll see. Maybe it'll be good.
He always still comes off a little too comical to me, though.
Yeah. Do that thing where Renee will be interviewing him and be like, he'll interview her, and then he'll be like, "Oh, good interview." And it's like, okay, whatever. Maybe that match will be good. It's not going to have any heat, though. We do, in fact, have Batista versus Del Rio, who also did nothing on Raw except a skit where Batista and Triple H were talking, and then Del Rio came up in a neck brace, and Batista shoved him like an asshole. Yeah. So they're having a match for some reason. I would, if this was anybody else, I would assume Del Rio was winning because of how bad he's looked in the lead up to this, but there's no way he's winning. So,
no, Batista's going to win for sure. It's a little bit like it was a No Way Out in 2005, where they just arbitrarily had Batista on it, even though he had already won the Rumble that year as well. See, this feels like a bit like this as well. It just feels like a token Batista appearance more than a built-up match. You know, he's already beaten Del Rio up plenty of times.
Yeah. So we got that, and then we got the Shield versus the Wyatts in a 6-man tag match, which may feature the implosion of the Shield.
Is the time right to do it now?
I don't know.
Possibly.
I don't know.
Strange. 'Cause it feels like they're on the same page at the minute.
Well, they did a thing on Raw where like Roman Reigns beat Mark Henry clean, and this thing of like, you know, Dean Ambrose couldn't do it and stuff. So I don't know. It's interesting. It should be a good match. I like the Shield. I'll be sad if the Shield break up. You know, not having those 6-man matches on Raw, that's going to make a difference. You know.
They can just start a new 3-man group.
Yeah, I guess.
With Sami Callihan, Sami Zayn, and some other one called Sami.
Yeah. Who else could we get?
Sami Neville.
Yeah, they could do that. Well, look, there was talk that they might bring someone up to replace Roman Reigns if they turn him babyface. He breaks away, and then they keep Shield going with someone else.
Yeah, that'd be rubbish.
Yeah, it would actually.
It'd be like the new Rockers.
I was going to say the new Nexus.
Yeah, probably
even worse. Even worse. So yeah, that should be good. We'll see where it goes. Then we got the Elimination Chamber match. Should be a good one. Got Randy Orton defending the title against John Cena, Daniel Bryan, Sheamus, Christian, and Justice Cesaro, rather. Brock Lesnar is apparently booked for this show, but no confirmation on that.
But actually, I think they've debunked that and said that he won't be on the show. He'll be on Raw, though, apparently.
Oh, okay. Well,
because I think Kane was interviewed on a breakfast show or something where he misspoke and said Brock would be at Elimination Chamber. But I think WWE put out a statement saying that he won't be.
yeah, it would be a waste to put him on there. As you know.
I mean, on the other hand, it could be a red herring. But I don't anticipate seeing Brock, so I won't be one of the people on
Predicting
Twitter
he wins the
afterwards
title.
going,
Why wasn't there Brock on the show? Stupid company never buying the network.
I don't anticipate.
Unless Undertaker's on the show, what's the point of Rock being on the show?
Well, yeah, Brock and Undertaker, I assume, will have a segment together where they set up their match. And Undertaker's revealed as Brock's father.
That's not true. That's impossible.
That'd be good. I think they're gonna set up the Brock Taker match this year. What's gonna be?
I don't know.
I mean, it can't be worse than last year, where Undertaker just comes out and a WrestleMania logo comes on the Titantron, and they're like, Undertaker sure challenging people for WrestleMania, and then Sheamus comes out. Just have a promo, like, let's just have a match, and whoever wins can fight that old man at that pay-per-view. Sure.
He'll come out, and then what's his face will come out and beat him up, and that'll be it. And the motivation will be, I don't know. Doesn't matter that bit.
I'm sure there'll be some sort of motivation where Undertaker will be out challenging, blah blah blah, and Brock will just come out and beat the piss out of him.
They can play the clip from the UFC. Undertaker was,
I won't do
want to do it. And Brock can go, yeah, I want to do it.
Yeah, they'll play that footage with Undertaker looking like a ragged old biker.
And Brock Lesnar after.
And Brock Lesnar looking like a defeated man who wanted no part of him.
Yeah, that was the night Brock got the piss beaten out of him, funnily enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. You want to do it? I don't think they have the rights to show that clip anyway.
Well, they could ask MMAfighting.com or whoever it was took it. Probably them.
Vince probably want to fight Dana over it or something.
Yeah.
Let's fight on WrestleMania.
It's not UFC footage, is it? It's Ariel Helwani's footage.
That's true. That's true.
And he don't work for them.
He sort of does though.
Or something.
Yeah, he does. He works for them too.
It's on the paper.
He is. He's not a journalist. He's not a journalist at all. He works for the company. So. You do journalism, Barry. You know that's a work basically.
No, yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah. He does do MMAfighting.com, but he's on UFC tonight, and he's on.
Kind of like how PWG.
He's a UFC insider, apparently.
PWG slips me a brown envelope every now and then, and Naughty Dog.
Exactly.
I had PWG and Last was about shit, really.
Yeah, and I don't
think that bit in the podcast.
I don't even like McDonald's.
Yeah.
I had McDonald's today, by the way. It was lovely.
Aw.
Ken.
I'm in the mood for kebab.
Hey.
I need a kebab. It's weird because that's typically a drunken man's food, but now I'm having more kebabs than I'm having alcohol. It's weird. I'm watching. By the way, I got SmackDown on here in the background again. Some more YouTube snippets. It's the Wyatt family facing some guys. Those guys playing with the Legos.
Oh yeah.
And that other little fella. Oh yeah, Rey Mysterio's contract is hurt, and his contract is coming due, as is Christian's, as is Alberto Del Rio's, and there's talk that.
Get rid of all of them.
Yeah, get rid of all of them. You don't need any of them. So yeah, but yeah, I think that's the elimination. Oh no, actually, it's not the elimination. But we spoke nothing about the main event. I think Randy Orton's winning. All them losses.
Probably, yeah. Wouldn't be something if he was the first eliminated though. Like that year, didn't Edge win the title when Jericho was first out? Or it's the other way around, wasn't it? Jericho won when Edge first out.
Triple H won when Edge was first out, and then Edge went into the other one.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah. Okay.
It'll be interesting because the Wyatts are obviously getting involved to screw Cena. So you're gonna have two screw jobs, or is Bryan just losing clean? I don't think Bryan's losing.
I think Bryan has to be one of the last two, or the crowd will do a Royal Rumble job on it and just shit on whoever's left.
Yeah. But then I'm thinking, how does he lose? I was going to see. Originally, I was thinking before the plan was apparently Triple H and Bryan that I was thinking maybe Bryan eliminates Sheamus, Sheamus turns heel and kicks him, and then Bryan gets eliminated that way. But they won't do that because I don't think Sheamus is turning. I don't know. I don't think it'd be weird if the Wyatts and Triple H both ran in, you know.
Sure.
Maybe Bryan wins, but there's a controversy and Triple H comes out and continues the match. Something like that.
Yeah, foot under the ropes or some nonsense that's like uncharted water for a chamber match.
Oh, the pod malfunctioned, and therefore it's null and
void.
void.
Yeah, they like that one, yeah. Yeah, we'll see. Should be good. It should be an okay show. I like the two main events, and you know, everything else is typical kind of weak undercard WWE stuff.
Yeah, we'll see.
And I think that's going to do it for this week, is it?
Yeah.
Just about, I'd say.
Right, we've got a busy week coming up next, folks. We've got the Elimination Chamber, we've got the Network launch, we've got the return of Hulk Hogan, probably the return of The Undertaker or Brock Lesnar too. Going to be a lot to talk about. Might watch Impact if I can be bothered, we'll see. For all your ChairShot Podcast needs, you can go to ChairShotPodcast.com, which is where you can find the episode archive. It's where you can find the email us button, where you can go to email us. We do greatly appreciate all emails. Thank you, Alex, and all the regulars who email us every week. We greatly appreciate you all. And new emailers are welcome to email us about a variety of subjects. This week we were asked how we met each other, so you can email us about whatever you want to email us about. At ChairShotPod is the Twitter you can go to follow us for updates pertaining to the show, news, and also the odd live tweet about whatever's going on or whoever's watching Raw that given week. Also, if you want to follow us individually, you can follow at The Barry Lad, which you should also follow on Vine. You should follow at Paul Griffin CSP, and you should follow at Griff Tannen, and at ChairShot Pod on Tout.
Tout! Jesus, remember that.
There's still a Tout logo on the website. The pod.
I know, it's still there. It's still there.
Yeah.
Why did
you can look at that one Tout of Joe with his cap, like forgetting to speak until the last second and stuff.
Yeah.
Classic memories. Anyway,
good content.
I'm gonna go look at that now. Is that still on there?
Yeah.
Was it Tout? How many Touts do we have? There's one of me promoting ChairShot Podcast 120. There's like 4 of them of me. I ask sleeping coworkers what they think of Raw 1000.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
God, Tout was shit.
It's all me. There's 1 of Joe. There's like 8 of me.
Anyway.
Yeah, go look at that. It's fun.
I'm sleepy. So, I think I'll hit my bed, listeners. What you should do is you should stick around and listen to next week's show or something. Anyway, goodbye from me, Barry Murphy. Goodbye, Mr. Paul Griffin.
Cherry Coke.
And goodbye, Mr. Joe Tannen.
Later.
This podcast was brought to you by LoudySpeak.com.